today is Community Wednesday, so today we do it for community. We talking about community, and one thing about the communities around this island we can definitely agree on: the roads need work. A lot of the roads all around this, even in Kingston. But you know what? Other places way worse, so I'm not going to complain about Kingston right now. You know it's true. Right now, we're going to talk about this $30 million project. It's supposed to be repairs done to the sections of the road from Claremont to Higgintown over there in Southeast St. Anne. Now, over there, MP Lisa Hanna, she represents in Parliament. And we're trying to figure out what's going on. So we have the MP, the beautiful Lisa Hanna, on the line. Hello.
Hi, Nikki. Happy New Year.
Do I still call you honorable, or I mean?
No, Lisa's fine.
All right, I'm gonna do it anyway. Is that okay?
Well, I'm only ministers are addressed as honorable. I'm not a minister of government.
Oh, so. Rules. All right, so let's talk about this because there's a lot of confusion. Sure. Even me, myself, I see these roads. We see big numbers like $30 million are being put to get these roads done, and then we don't see nothing happening. What is the cause of that? What happens? What's the breakdown?
Well, the truth is there's a very bureaucratic system that takes place when roads or even water is to be done. And typically what happens is the National Works Agency, who is responsible for main roads in the country, is the agency that does main roads, so they allocate resources. There really is no system that grants equal money to larger constituencies for road work. In other words, unless you make harsh representation and you stay on top of the agencies, what happens is you're fighting for very little resources. So a lot of times, which is unfortunate, many Jamaicans believe that, well, this road is on a routine for systematic rehabilitation. And what happens is it's really just for patching. So persons in rural areas, for example, see this persistent patching. They want Barbara Green on the road, and then the NWA comes and tells an MP like me, well, there's not enough money. You never got enough money. And at this point, it just feels as if you're not a government MP, you're not going to get nothing done. So I've been a member of parliament for 4 terms, 4 terms now. I've been on the opposition benches for 3. So I literally have to send in roads. I talk to the NWA weekly. We're in constant dialogue to say, look, this road needs to be done, that road needs to be done. I have to, as I said, piece and money together, find money from other agencies. And what happens is when a road is selected, so let us say this Claremont to Higgintown road. So I would have made representation long ago, written to the NWA from October of 2020, say, look, this is urgent because we're having a lot of rains. We need to get it done. Nothing happens. I even write to the NWA and I say, look, tell me how much money has been spent on roads in the parish of St. Anne, in these constituencies, because we're seeing road work being done in all the other constituencies except mine, major road work too. They don't answer the letter. Then no, and not until I get and put things on social media to say, look, I've written, I've asked, this road is not being done, I feel like we're being politically victimized. Then we get a formal response from the NWA to say, oh, by the way, 30 million has been granted for this road, and that was on June 29th last year.
Right. So
nothing has been done to the road. Nothing has been done. We keep hearing it's at public tender, and the tender process takes a while. Yet still, last year in Parliament,
you can't even find accountability. So they're telling you things so you don't even know where the money's going. Then what they're saying is that because the contract is so large, and Nikki, $30 million can't fix that road. No.
So what we had to do is look at the worst spots. We went with the taxi drivers. I meet with the taxi drivers regularly. You call meetings, sometimes they don't come, but you get the information out there. I said, come with us and the NWA, show them the spots that are the worst parts for you to traverse, because this is a road that also takes you to St. Anne's Bay. They came, but from that time until now, all we keep hearing is it's at tender. The parish office in St. Anne can't tell me anything until the head office in Kingston tells them something. And until even the minister himself, Minister Warmington, says, all right, it has been signed off on XYZ. I cannot interfere as a member of parliament.
So let me ask you a question.
And it's out at public tender.
Let me ask you a question. I haven't really seen
Sure.
too many of these cases on the island, so I don't know if it's a thing or not. But what happened to things like class action suits, like taxi drivers, citizens who have damaged their vehicles or ended up crashing from the lack of repairs that were done? I mean, I would think that that's a good case, because if you're telling me that you have something allotted to fix the roads and the roads haven't fixed, and yet I just drove into this insane pothole that just tore off the bottom of my car, or I had to swerve to avoid the pothole, and now I crashed, what happened to class action lawsuits? Because that seems to make them move.
The legal system and the court system takes such a long time. Many persons
Yeah, but if we keep
do it.
complaining about things taking too
Agreed.
long, then I mean that's what they are depending on. They're depending. We're just going to give up and be like, oh well, that's just how it is. So I just don't see why there aren't lawyers out there putting together class action suits, no matter how long it takes. Put the pressure on.
There are two issues. The first issue is, I think these kinds of tenders, if it's not working in a very fast way, we need to revisit that process. And if it is that you have to do public procurement, I think all contracts should, it's in the newspaper, but the citizens should understand and be taught how long these things take. And it can't be a situation where in Southeast Sentan it takes 6 months, but in Northeast Sentan, for example, it takes 2 weeks.
It should not. No.
It should not. And there has to be some equal opportunity and egalitarianism in the process. So if you want to use resources to starve out somebody politically, we need to get rid of that kind of political tribalism in Jamaica, because a person's road is not green or orange. It is, they need to drive the road.
Humans are humans. Humans are, right. That's it, full stop. The rest of it is irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Exactly. The second thing, I think in our 60th year of anniversary, we really need to sit down as a parliament to contemplate, how do we get representation where people understand that cutting down trees and blocking the road for road, water, light is something that gets attention, but it really should not be used as a tool, because it prevents other motorists from traversing the roadway. So as leaders too, we have to go and say, listen, this is the process. This is how it works. I've done that ad nauseum. But people vex.
People should be vexed, because basic citizens, you're a citizen. It's like you just got to sit and wait for other people to decide your fate.
What the minister said to me. The minister said publicly, I just need to sit down and relax, because the process is taking its time.
I meant to ask you that.
I can't sit down and relax. We drive these roads, and the taxi drivers in this particular area are seeing me fix other roads in the constituency. Why is this one taking so long?
Exactly.
Why is it that at the border of my constituency, a road right on the border pull up 4 times, and every time it pull up, it is just fixed immediately? I'm not talking a little patch it, I talk overlay. According to the Minister of Finance, carpet road. We not getting a carpet road in my constituency. Those funds are not allocated. And furthermore, when I listen to some of the younger government MPs, that same road, Nikki, just to say to you, I've been asking for 900 lengths of water pipe for the last, I would say, and I said this in my parliamentary debate last year, at least 6 ministers since 2008 when I became MP. The projects finally started in August 2020. It stopped. It never started back until I went to Parliament, basically. And they stopped a project in my constituency for a year. But the border constituency is able to say that they essentially have $1 billion worth of water projects. And they just became MP in a year. I've been in mine for 14 years. So what you're seeing is a reflection of how central agencies are using resources. And that can't be the decision that is taken at the agency level. It has to come from a higher authority. Don't use me to fry the citizens of my constituency, in that kind.
What can citizens do? What can citizens?
Well, citizens can know. And one of the reasons why I'm grateful for coming on this program and other programs is that the evidence is there. If you come to my office, you see the letters, you see the meetings, you can track the representation. And so what I would say to citizens as well, my office is open Monday to Sunday, basically. You can call the numbers, find out what is going on, call me, find out what is happening. But also, as a government, they need to take action. They need to understand that people's lives are hanging in the balance. You can't promise people something and then 6 months later tell them to relax and wait. The world is not working that way.
No,
Everybody is moving faster than us. Everybody is it's digital, and Jamaicans are seeing the rest of the world work. You can't tell people who come home for holidays and are driving a bump up and down that
that don't
we
make
have
no
the money
sense.
to fix it.
Exactly. It don't make no sense.
In 2022, in our 60th anniversary year of independence, and I
whenever there's
understand
big
the frustration of people.
dignitaries coming to Port Antonio too, you see them get all frazzled and they start cutting all the rubbish that's been growing into the street.
And
It
not
should
only
not
that,
be.
you
It
see this whole
shouldn't
heap of
be.
entourage with siren push people off of the road, and there are just some things that need to change.
Absolutely. I got a
Completely.
question though. I've been meaning to ask
Sure.
this before you hang up. How do you, as a female, deal with the very misogynistic undertone of what you are doing? Because me, my head would have licked chip and gone long time ago. I've seen the misogynistic way of
It is.
condescending talking to the female, oh, the pretty girl in the room. How do you
Right.
deal with that? Tell some other females who might be coming into adulthood, how do you really swallow that pill to get past it and just do the job?
Well, recently one of the columns that I wrote was about Jamaican women who actually inspired me, because you can get into a situation where the cynicism of why should I bother anyway? And when you look at people like a young lady like Nicole McFarlane, who is a gardener truck driver from St. Catherine, has her 2-year-old on her bicycle with her weed whacker. You look at people like Audrey, Tugwell Henry, who started off as a PE teacher and is now the head of BNS Jamaica. There are really, really formidable Jamaican women who run this country at various levels. And the way to understand and approach any situation, especially where there are men who are older, who have an institutional memory of looking at women as lesser or weaker, is to recognize it for what it is and be smarter, work harder. You have to make sure that you are on top of the details and the data and not use emotion to make you take decisions. So once they recognize, I think, that you are up to the task and you are prepared to take the right decision rather than the popular decision, and not be submissive to the misogyny, which is the belittling. Oh, nice little girl. I think when I just came to Parliament, oh, what a pretty little thing.
Oh my gosh.
I was a novelty, and I wouldn't have I couldn't say some of the things on public radio that were whispered to me downstairs or
I
said
could
to
imagine.
me publicly. And, I think now there is a level of respect, because not only has she withstood her own internal political fights, but they have seen the mettle of what I'm prepared to do to represent people. So I would say to young women coming up that it is not that you must roll over and die. One, find female mentors that inspire you and ask for advice. And don't act. The second piece of advice I'd give to you is don't act on emotion. Sit down, think through the problem. Emotions will not solve it. Pay attention to the details, because you might make the mistake once, but you don't have to keep repeating it. Okay. And then the third thing I would say to you is be an avid reader. You have to have a worldview and a perspective on how you want to shape things, rather than just live in your own world, which is probably linear. Mm-hmm. But recognize that you have to multitask, and the only way to be able to do that is to be calling on information from different sights and sounds, and to really put yourself in a position that gives you a holistic approach, and that only comes with investigation, reading, deep research, and you have to form that self-discipline to do it.
Absolutely. Lisa Hanna, MP Lisa Hanna on the line. Hopefully we can get these roads repaired, and I'm going to stick by what I said. You lawyers out there, you're missing the ball. Y'all keep complaining about how long it takes, but at the end of it might be something beautiful, because if they just know no one's going to fight for it, they're just going to keep doing it. Hello. But anyway, let's get back to the vibes. Follow Lisa Hanna on social media. Yes, nice talking to you. What's your social? Give me your social as if they don't have it, but just,
my Instagram page is Lisa Hanna MP.
Yeah.
My Twitter page is just search MP Lisa Hanna, and the same thing for Facebook, Lisa Hanna MP. So the Facebook page though is large, so it's generally. Just look for those pages.
All right, gotcha. Lisa Hanna, it's the crossover on the Bridge 99. Let's go.